All right, we are now on part 3 of the 2014 FRQ, which is about trade and current accounts. So go ahead and hit pause, write your way through this answer, hit play, let's talk through it. All right, so we assume the United States and South Korea are trading partners. The United States has a zero current account balance. Now assume the inflation rate in the US decreases relative to the inflation rate in South Korea. So based on this decreasing rate in the United States, will the United States exports to South Korea increase or decrease? So what we should see happen is that the U.S. exports to South Korea will increase because for South Koreans, the U.S. goods are cheaper because of the lower inflation rate. So they're going to be buying up all of our cheaper goods. So we're going to see this huge increase in our exports to them. So based on this change in exports, what are we going to see happen? Well, what we're going to see happen is one, the U.S. current account is going to be in surplus because remember the current account is where we are like talking about our trade with another nation. So because we are like giving all of our stuff to or selling all of our stuff to South Korea, our current accounts will move to surplus, theirs will move to deficit. The real GDP in the United States in the short run will also increase because remember, part of aggregate demand is the C plus I plus G plus net exports. Because we are like exporting more than we are importing, presumably, we're going to see an increase. When we look at the South Korean currency as the won, draw the correctly labeled graph of the foreign exchange market for the United States dollar. Show the effect of the lower inflation rate on the United States to the won price per dollar. So what we see is that our quantity of US dollars, the demand is going to increase because Koreans now demand our US dollar, right? So because of this, we're going to see an increase in the value of the dollar, which as we talked about like our models, this should make everything presumably return to equilibrium. So we see an increase here and the shift in demand. That's all you had to answer. The danger in this question, though, is that if you mess up this part A, everything else gets wrong, or presumably would, because if you got this wrong, like you should get everything else backwards too. So the problem is that in some of these econ questions, it becomes sort of a waterfall of destruction. So make sure that you are paying really close attention to what you're doing and not doing something silly in the beginning. You have way more time than you need on this test, so pace yourself and take your time. Come see me if you have questions.